welcome back to Chop Toys. I am looking today at chopping a top. I've got this 57 Tonka cab, and they're pretty sought after. That's one of the most popular years, as you have the straight up and down window post as well as the hood scoop. You see next to it I've got my 56, and it has been chopped maybe a 1/4 inch, and I'm going to do it to this one. This is not a perfect cab. It looks good. It's been sandblasted, and but it was a fire truck. I'm not sure if it shows in the camera, but it did have a spot here for the siren, and a spot on the roof, a hole for the red light, strobe light. And I don't know what I was doing. I filled that in with JB Weld. I don't know why, but it works, and it needs a little bit of filler before we decide to paint it. But yeah, it still needs a little bit of body work, but I did that, and it was in bare metal forever, and it started rusting, so I just threw some primer on it. But we're going to go ahead and chop this top, because I want to do another custom, and I'm not sure yet what I want to do, but I want to see one of these chopped. I haven't ever done a 57, so let's get this thing taken apart. Alright guys, so to start off, we got to get it off. When you look on the inside, it has 4 tabs. The back ones kind of fold backwards, and the front ones fold forward, or fold backwards as well. So really all you have to do is get the front ones loose, pry it up, and then the back one you can lift the cab off, and it's a lot easier. These are folded really nicely, so this is going to be a fairly easy task to do. Get them started. Sometimes you can use a flathead screwdriver for this. Give that a shot. I think that one's a little too big. Yeah. So we'll go back to the needle nose. These grip really well. We just want to straighten them out. Once we get the roof off, we can fix them accordingly. Get them nice and straight before we start the next process. Now you can see in there the where the siren hole was. I made the mistake of making that side smooth and not the other side. So it's going to take a little bit of fight, because they're in and twisted. That one may be enough. There we go. Alright, now we're cooking. That one's a little bit straighter. Now we're ready to lift it off. Gonna pull it through. It's gonna fight a little bit. Alright, we got the fronts out. Now we'll just kind of wiggle the backs until they pop out. See, they're still kind of bent under, and our front ones are fairly straight. And that's what we've got for the roof. Now I'm going to straighten out these front ones right now during this step. I'm going to leave the back ones bent a little bit. This one maybe not quite so much. But again, you don't want to do a whole lot of bending on this stuff, because it will break eventually. If you bend that steel back and forth enough times, it won't go back together. And I'm going to have to straighten those back ones out even more. 57 is a unique year with this straight front post as opposed to it angled out more like the white truck in the background. So, let's move on to the next step. So I need to figure out how much I want to chop it. Go ahead and wipe some of this dust off while we got that apart. Hard to eyeball, but I think I'm going to take about a 1/4 inch out of this as well. That's almost 1/2 inch. I don't go too far. You go too far, the proportions look off. So I'm going to go with a 1/4 inch. Now what I'm going to do, got my little Sharpie here, I've got my caliper, and I'm going to kind of measure it out. This only goes in millimeters, so let's see how much that is. That's too much. Let's do 5 mil. 6 mil. So I'm going to get my Sharpie. 6 mil. We'll see how much that is on the back also, because the back, that's the exact width of the bar across the bottom of the window. So we're going to end up chopping that off again like we did on the other truck. If you can see that there. So that's our guide point. So I'm going to go ahead and do this different then. The back would be easy. The front we've got to really really measure out. So I'm going to do that first while I'm holding all this junk. So I've got that, and then we're going to mark a line right here. Really need a fine tip Sharpie. So we're going to go to the top of that line. Alright, I'm going to bring it around the other side. Make sure we're still in our 6 mil. And Sharpie's already drying out. Alright, so we got our line there. So, the key is to not take your tabs off. You have to just make new tabs. So what we're going to do, find something to point at here. We're going to cut up this edge to the top of that mark and cut that corner off. That way, this will be the edge right here that the roof sets on the body. And then we'll have this much sticking through. Now, we can cut it down later, but I want to leave all that metal there as long as we can. And we're going to do the same thing in the back. We're going to cut up here, our 6 mil, cut that little corner off, and then we're going to cut all the way across that. So, let's get over to the Dremel and try to not mess this up. Alright, so this is what we got. Now our posts are still really long, and that doesn't rattle, so everything's still square, it's not out of shape. I'm going to do a test fit here, see how these go. We might have to clean up the post a little bit to get them to fit back into the body. They might be a little too wide at spots, or something could be off just a little bit because we did just change the entire geometry of all this. So I've got all in but this one. Now I do plan on cutting these down before we move forward with this. So why is that not going? We may have to go ahead and cut them down. Nope, nope. Got all of our, oh, this side popped out. Love tap. There it is. See, this one's a little wide, so it's not going into the body. So I'm going to have to give that a little file, and we'll try it again. Alright, I got it all cleaned up. Just had to narrow this post a little bit. It still fits pretty snug, but you know, more is better. So we'll go ahead and put this thing back on. Get everything lined up. So it won't stay quite all the way down until we fold the tabs in, but there's our look. What do you think? When you look at it from the front, it's dead even. It's perfect. Lines up great. You have to really fight that back corner there. Doesn't want to cooperate. I'm not sure why either. I cleaned up the edges a little bit, all the way around, just to deburr it. I used the file, trying to get it even, but then we just completely changed the look of the truck. Again, I don't know what I'm going to build with this yet, but it's really not that hard. I'm not going to fold the tabs or anything yet. I'll probably come back and cut them down. May not. They're not that long. But once I get ready to paint it and do stuff to it, we'll worry about that. But right now, I'm going to leave it as it is because I don't want to risk damaging anything. The least amount of times you can take it apart, put it back together, the better you're going to be in the long run. So we can mock it up here. So there's our chop. I appreciate you guys watching. It's not complicated. There's just a little trick to it to make it still all function. But I hope somebody finds this interesting. But I appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you all in the next video.